here is how the bracket looks. Senegal against Egypt on January 14th. A cracking one to look forward to. But maybe that Morocco-Nigeria game might be the one that catches all of our attention. A lot to look forward to in the 2025 African Cup of Nations. It is time to bring in our African expert. Yes, that is right. Mimi Fawaz, it is great to see you, Mimi. Some cracking games took place today, but I want to begin with that performance from Egypt. It seems like they had a game plan going into this game, and it worked to perfection.
Yeah, Hossam Hassan took the game to the defending champions, Cote d'Ivoire, in this game. They really were pressing them quite a bit, and the Ivory Coast just didn't seem to were able to respond in terms of the quality that Egypt had on the ball. They did seem to, though, in the second half, in the last 20 or 30 minutes, they seemed to try coming back, trying to get those goals, trying to score, but it just wasn't happening for them. The quality that Egypt had was just too much for the defending champions.
Mimi, we have to talk about Mohamed Salah because every time his name comes up, it seems that there's a new record made to be broken by him. I mean, whether it's becoming the all-time leading goal scorer for Egypt, which now he's bearing on, 3 shy of that, or now this is his 11th country, different country he scored against at the African Cup of Nations, which is the most all-time. When you look at his legacy, Mimi, how could winning AFCON this campaign change his entire legacy with the Pharaohs?
Michael, there's always this debate when it comes to Mohamed Salah. Would it, affect his legacy if he weren't to win the Africa Cup of Nations, that he needs to win the Africa Cup of Nations to really be considered one of the greats in African football? His hopes are still alive with this win against the defending champions. There's still hope for him. It would mean so much to Mohamed Salah. You can see it when he plays for his country, leading his country to win the Africa Cup of Nations. He's already a legend in African football, helped his country, as I've spoken before, after almost 30 years, qualifying for the 2018 World Cup, helping his country again with scoring the winner for the World Cup next year, and as well the top African qualifier when it comes to World Cup goals in the qualifier. So Mohamed Salah is still a legend, but he really wants to seal that legacy by lifting the trophy.
Hey, Mimi, when you look at the stats in this game, Ivory Coast dominated in possession. They created more chances. They were very dangerous in front of goal, but just couldn't seem to get the job done. What was it about this Egypt side tactically that you saw them approach this game that made them the better side, that made them find a way to actually go through in this tie?
Yeah, like I spoke about, they were really good on the ball when they had the ball. And I feel that Cote d'Ivoire were just not able to answer in terms of how well organized Egypt were. And unlike Ivory Coast, who just were not clinical when they had some of those chances, Egypt were able to be very clinical. Egypt is the kind of side where in some games, maybe they might not have necessarily played that great throughout the game, but when they get those opportunities, they are very much clinical in front of goal. And we saw that again in the game today. We even saw Mohamed Salah providing an assist and as well himself scoring a goal in that game.
Mimi, as we shift our focus over from the Pharaohs, let's talk about the Nigerian Super Eagles. This Nigeria team, it's not the Nigeria team that we saw in World Cup qualifiers. They look like they mean business. What's changed with them? Because when Ian and I watch them, they seem like they're playing as if they owe the Nigerian public a bit of something.
Michael, before the competition, Nigerians were saying, we're not interested, we don't care. Nigeria not playing well, Nigeria now out of the World Cup qualifiers. But trust me, now that Nigeria have booked a place in the semifinals, even just looking through social media and the fans who were at the stadium today, Nigerians are really happy. They believe that Nigeria can lift the trophy. The last time that Nigeria played a big team, for example, and dominated like they did against Algeria today was in 1994. When they won the Africa Cup of Nations. So a lot of fans are saying they are echoing that side from 1994, and they can go all the way. By them winning the Africa Cup of Nations, they will atone for the fact that they haven't qualified for the World Cup. Sure, Nigerians are still a bit upset about that, but this will help to appease the fans a little bit. Nigeria very much working as a team. We're seeing them in terms of, I said, attacking. Eric Sekushal is very much known to be an attacking coach, whereas the last Africa Cup of Nations, Jose Peseiro was very much a defensive coach. Nigeria weren't scoring that many goals. This time around, we're seeing them scoring those goals, and as well, we're seeing them keep back-to-back clean sheets like they did against Mozambique and now against Algeria.
Unbelievable performance from Victor Osimhen. Automatic with the goal. Also managed to get himself an assist in this game. Now, many people seem to criticize Victor Osimhen, sometimes for being outspoken, being a disturbance. But there's something authentically beautiful about the passion he has for the beautiful game. The desire, Mimi, that he has to win and to lead his nation to success. How important is he not only for Nigerian football, and is in many ways, are we criticizing maybe a little too much?
Ian, Osimhen was very much heavily criticized after the last game where he had that outburst against Ademola Lookman. And lots of fans online, he really polarized fans. There were fans that were saying, let him not play, let him be kicked out of the squad. No. Osimhen is incredibly important to the Nigerian squad, as we saw today. He is hungry. He's passionate. He works so hard. I've always said for me that he reminds me a little bit of Rashidi Yekini. Rashidi Yekini is the greatest, for many Nigerians, one of the greatest strikers that the country has ever produced. And Osimhen is 2 goals short of meeting that record. But for him, he says he doesn't care about equaling or breaking that record. It means more to him to win something with Nigeria, to win the Africa Cup of Nations, especially as they haven't qualified for the World Cup. So that is what they will be looking towards.
It's a team game, Michael. It's a team game.
It definitely is here in this studio. Now, Mimi, you and I have talked and waxed poetic about Victor Osimhen, and I asked you before about whether he could be the greatest player in Nigerian footballing history, but he hasn't been without some drama. Where do things stand between him and the rest of the team, and how he's viewed by the public after a performance like this? Because in my opinion, he is Nigerian football right now.
Michael, I know you said that when we last spoke a few days ago, and that post got a lot of people debating and speaking, and a lot of people are like, no, he hasn't played at a World Cup. No, he hasn't won an Africa Cup of Nations yet. He needs to win an Africa Cup of Nations. No, he's no Rashidi Yekini. But whatever happens, people were upset with him with that outburst against Ademola Lookman. But believe me, getting the man of the match in the game today, people were speaking a different tune. Some were even saying, let him be angry again if he wants to be angry, if he puts in that kind of performance that he's put today, where he scored and provided the assist to Akor Adams.
That's what I'm saying. It's authentically beautiful to just let the human being be himself. As long as he's performing, as long as he's bringing performance like that, let the authenticity shine and shine bright. But the challenge coming up next will be Morocco. Not an easy challenge whatsoever. And of course, I watched Scoreline yesterday. Michael Lahoud was not too happy with the officiating and feels like maybe, just maybe, Morocco might have that 12th player advantage. Where do you lean in this matchup, Nigeria against Morocco, Mimi?
Ian, I was at that match yesterday against Cameroon, and let me tell you, it was a sea of red in the stadium. The Moroccan fans were the 12th man in that game. I think for Nigeria, they've got the quality. They definitely have the quality when it comes in terms of going forward and as well in terms of defense in the middle of the park as well. Alex Iwobi has been a revelation, I guess, in this competition. A lot of people are speaking about how really good he's been standing out in this competition. But they will have those Moroccan fans, the 12 fans, they will have to be very mentally strong, because believe me, when I was in that stadium, I was like, any team that plays at home with those fans are going to have to deal with that.
Mouth-watering ties to look forward to. Mimi Fawaz, thank you so much. We'll let you go back to enjoying the fan zone in Marrakesh.
Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you, Michael.